Every one of us remembers the Hitler of Overwatch. But what did he stand for? And what did Gamin4Hope fail to teach the Overwatch community? Let's find out.
This would have been the Overwatch League. And of course now you fast forward and Overwatch League is gone, rest in peace. So I moved on to the Overwatch Champions Series. It was a 0.00001% chance that I'd ever
He's holding a spatula. Did anyone else catch that? Dude's hungry.
get there. And I wanted to try. Worst case scenario,
I want to see his Apple Watch turn on. It's like a 155 heart rate.
I failed. And I could show people that there was value in. And then many of you found the video that went, even to this day, I would call it viral, that Apply made, where he reacted to that, and then in conjunction with it, he created a VOD review of probably some of my worst gameplay ever, but
Hilarious, yes. Hilarious, yes. But wait.
it was my Doomfist gameplay. And regardless of whether or not Doomfist was my main hero or not, Apply made some really good points in that VOD review that I didn't really...
The VOD review went viral more because we were making fun of the fat chud Gamin4Hope. And it just got taken a little too far. And I think bullying got totally shot down because people were getting bullied. Bullies were bullying people. And now that bullying is gone, everyone is just looking for people to bully. All the people who should be getting bullied in real life are now not, and are now bullying this guy and bullying people because of their age, calling them unk. Because we need to bring back bullying. I remember when I was in middle school, when I was in seventh grade, there were these kids and we thought they were annoying. So we always called them sixth graders. And then when we were always like, yeah, we're seventh graders. Then when they got seventh grade and they came up to us and they're like, yeah, we're seventh graders now. We were like, we don't give a fuck. We're eighth graders, you know? Where's that mentality gone? All of a sudden, the little kids are going up, you're unk. Go work in an oil rig, fucking loser. I'm going to kick him in the fucking face and bury him.
Until recently, after actually reviewing it and looking at it. But when I got the notification from a couple of my community members that the video that he made was up, I had actually just gotten back to a hotel after attending a funeral for a family member. So I was in a pretty rough emotional spot, and I wasn't sure how to interpret it.
Because he just absolutely went viral finally. He got, like, I just had my first viral video, and, like, I'm sitting here giggling to myself about it. Meanwhile, I'm also not, like, confident enough to stream. But I can only imagine he goes completely viral for the first time, the biggest he's ever seen, grieving somebody, and now he realizes that it's because every single person online is making fun of him.
And then I got back, tried to get back into the content stuff, and found out just how much negativity had sparked from that.
It's not Apply's fault, okay? It's not Apply's fault that he is funny. I think that, you know, with modern content, you know, you can rip on people, absolutely, to a certain extent. Apply, I don't think he took it too far, but I think what led afterwards eventually got too far. I can only imagine. I mean, did anyone ever consider he was grieving something right when this happened? So probably every time he hears that Apply video, he probably thinks of whoever he's grieving right there. I don't know.
Pretty extreme negativity over the course of the time that I've been playing Overwatch, but I can tell you it has been since I picked up Overwatch, oddly enough. I just think that it's not a...
It's a new thing. See, I put Overwatch down once it got the 2. Back in 2022, I played like 5 games, and I was like, this is fucking dog shit, and the Battle Pass has the new Broken Hero. So I quit for a while until I did the 2020 patch in 2024. Got re-addicted. And I noticed a completely different community took over. I think the content is in good hands. Frogger, Aspen, I recognize them, Flats from the old game. I remember seeing them on Fresh Nuts videos back in like 2018. Anyway, the community of the game had shifted a lot. And I don't know if it was to a younger audience or what happened. He was liking the virality at the time because he wanted to go mainstream. And then everyone took that as an excuse to just fucking bully him.
It's just that Overwatch is the game that happened to bring me to a place where people actually know who I am, which still blows my mind.
It's because he played a pretty brutal part. It's like, you know, in high school, I hate to compare it to high school, but like that's kind of what the maturity level of this situation is. Literally, he is like there's a bully, and then there's the guy who's getting bullied, and then there's the entire class who decides to laugh. That's kind of what's going on here. And every single person wants a turn being the bully. And I don't know, like, no one feels for this guy. And, like, I can understand he's probably in infinite echo chambers in his own self. And I can see why he quit Overwatch. The community is mediocre at best. But I'm here to make it better. One day at a time, fellas.
I want to make sure I'm clear on something, too. This is not meant to be a bash on Apply or even remotely.
Yeah, I don't want to bash Apply because I think I see me in him a little bit sometimes too. I have my fair share of times of being pretty toxic to people on Overwatch. Anyway, but
blaming him for any of this. He had nothing to do with it. All he did was create a video that unfortunately emboldened my haters, the actual haters, not the memers out there. I know about the meme channels. I think they're kind of funny if I'm being.
The meme channels are just as bad. That's desensitization. The meme channels would be bad if the bullies weren't there, but the bullies are there, so the meme channels are just funny now. It's all pretty bad. Like, I love laughing at it sometimes, but, like, there's still genuinely a community of people who are still, like, ripping on Gaming4Hope still. Like, they're still, because that was the only place they ever felt powerful, and that was because they were bullying this guy. They were bullying him because they had nothing better to do, and it was the only place they ever felt good, which in a way makes me feel bad. But instead of kind of, you know, hating on those people, why don't I just bring them to my community? You belong here. I'll love you here as long as you love me.
Honest. But the outright hate that's out there that crosses the boundary of hating on someone's gameplay or their content and trying to degrade someone's character, that's
fucking fat idiot. Sorry, no, like, that's the example. Like, I mean, that was just so unnecessary. Like, I don't want to give that to him for no reason, right? But some people be doing that.
Where you have crossed the line.
And before you attack me for that, I'm getting pretty fat myself. I'm pretty insecure about it. It has to... I'm not going to make excuses, dude.
90% of people that watch your content just watch your content. The remaining 10% is split between your extreme haters and your extreme supporters. And those that...
You know, I like that statistic. I am very comfortable with that statistic if that is true. I would really like that because, dude, like, I mean, my first viral YouTube video ever, okay? And I'm shaking, dude. 36 comments, like, I haven't seen more than 3 or 4, or like 10 tops. But, like, man, it's scary, dude. I'm still getting used to it.
Remaining 10% is what makes up your comment section. So I recognize that whenever I make videos to address stuff that I'm not really addressing the people that I'm going to see respond to it for the most part. It's going to be people that never say a word. They just take the information and move on with their lives.
And this was me for the last 14 straight years I've been watching YouTube. And I'm finally now, like, I mean, I've been watching, I know who Gamin4Hope is. I've known who this guy is for quite a long time now. And there's one specific thing about the scoreboard that I like what he says, and people bully him a lot for it.
Like 90% of people do. What I had in my mind was to clear my name and move on. And I kind of got that harsh reality where I realized that people just don't care. They don't. The haters don't care. The video should never have been to try and clear my name in their minds. From my perspective, I should never have been thinking that way.
I don't know. I like the full send take, though. He tried. He really tried. And I gotta respect him for it. He got a lot of fucking hate for it. A lot. But he still stands by his message. And now he's got a Elite Gold's tie on his back. So things might be a little different for this guy coming up.
But I cared so much about what people thought about me that I made a big deal about it.
I understand the 2 and 5. Listen, just wait till the end.
The chapters of all things in that video went wildly viral. Outside of the Overwatch space even, by the way. Which grew my channel.
I don't know how I would feel if I was a father and I checked the internet and there was a giant thumbnail that was literally my face with the words Hitler above it. We might have found the thumbnail of this video, fellas. I don't know how I'd feel about that, but definitely not good. I would not feel good about that.
Or used it as a measurement, I should say, as to whether or not I was actually improving my skill at the game. And that makes sense, and at the surface level, that's correct.
In Overwatch 1, that was correct. In this new game, dude, the win rates are inconsistent. Blizzard lies about player stats. Like, we all know Blizzard smuffs the stats. I actually have to call on a Agree to You video. I'll throw it on screen right now, but I don't believe that rank means anything, especially on console. My viral videos going out because fucking console's cooked from diamond up. Like,
but it's not the best way to measure your actual improvement, and I think all of us know that at some level, even if we don't want to admit it. But I used that as my measurement of self-worth. Was I actually succeeding? Was
I know, dude, because me too, and that's why I'm like making all these videos saying rank doesn't matter and it's rigged, because I've been playing for 7 fucking years, and if you want to tell me I've been playing for 7 fucking years and I'm plat, I'll kill myself. I will. I'll do it.
I actually accomplishing the goals I want?
I am not fucking plat. Shut the fuck up. A game like Overwatch isn't totally made probably for him, and that's kind of why he thrives in his own little way. But, like, again, he's getting bullied for his age because no one else has anyone else to bully. Okay? Especially in Overwatch. So I'm hoping that, like, I'm gonna get some of that heat. People are gonna call me Hitler just because they have no one else to talk to. I don't care. Bully me, dude.
Because I am outspokenly Christian and conservative leaning. I wouldn't even say I'm conservative, to be honest. But I think that those two things on their own, in the Overwatch space especially, is going to
Speaking about yourself in any sort of way in a serious manner means it's going to be thrown back at you worse. I'm going to learn this the hard way. I'm going to. Like, I'm fully aware of this, and I'm still gonna make that mistake. I'm gonna say some shit on my life, and it's gonna get thrown back in my face, like, so bad. I do this all the time with my friends. I know it's gonna happen. It just sucks that, like, he has to give every example of every bad thing that could happen to somebody on the internet, while that being, like, his come up. That's supposed to be the peak of your career, you know. It's kind of I don't know.
Ostracize me from a lot of the community, especially when it comes to creators, and I respect that, by the way. There's no ill will, but that was something I had to deal with, and it hurt. It sucked.
You're welcome here, bud. No worries. Dude, the Elite Gold's Gamin4Hope podcast would go crazy, dude.
The things I've always hoped is that I'd be able to kind of
seriously, Gamin4Hope. I'm already in your DMs, dude. Reach out.
Hang out with the boys, so to speak, right? The ones that are at the upper echelon, but only once I can provide them value. It's never meant to be like I want something from them. It's that I wanted to be able to bring something to the table and hope to be able to collaborate and have a good time, right?
I have something I want to bring to the table, and that's the scoreboard, and I'll talk about it at the end.
Just play video games. That's really all this has been about. And then the comment section, man.
He's talking to a spatula.
The comment section was a real problem for me for a while because I've always believed in engaging with your community, even if they're being hateful. And that took a serious toll on my mental health for a long time.
Dude, real though, dude. Anytime I get some shit, dude, I just start yelling and just go berserk mode because I don't know. The hate's gonna be there one way or another. Like, you can stand up or you can't. I'm just gonna be consistent and as transparent as possible. I don't know, dude.
And have the right headspace when I'm reading through comments, even the ones that are harsh. Most of the time, I just ignore those, by the way. 99% of the time, I just ignore those these days. I just scroll past them and try to find the next person who's actually...
Dude, I feel like he's sitting in a hospital chair, dude. I don't know hospital beds handling. It might be the spatula. I don't know, dude. I'm just...
being somewhat constructive, even if they're being critical or just outright positive. Being a full-time...
I'm being outright negative right
content creator has been a dream of mine for a very long time.
Me too.
Mentioned, I believe, earlier that I have been creating content since 2018. January 20th was my first stream on the very same Twitch channel, many.
To be fair, Elite Golds was technically created in June of 2018. We released the channel trailers back then.
You watch me on still. I wanted to be a full-time creator, but I wanted to make an impact. It wasn't just to make a crap load of money or to be the...
I'm kind of the same way as him. Like the exact same way, only I'm 22 and have pit vipers on and he's talking to a spatula.
Was that I needed to pivot where I got my identity.
There's that stain right below his wrist right there. It's all that down there. You painting your house, bud? I hope so.
From. One of the things that I should have known way earlier is that my identity needed to be wrapped up in something that was rock solid, immovable, steadfast, and not subject to opinion, not subject to life's crap that happens, circumstances, right? The most important part for me was that I am worth dying for.
Just real quick, I'll finish off the rest without yapping. I'm sorry, but like, I don't know. Yeah, to me, this seems like I want to be loved. Every human wants to be loved. And before, like, I don't know if there's anyone out there who kind of feels similar or maybe looks to me as their only understanding, I'm happy to be that. DM me on Instagram if you actually want to get in contact. I'm not gonna sit for the rest of it. So my take on it. Listen. So, I think some of it's funny, sure, but, like, if you're gonna be totally, like, honest about it, it's bullying. Everyone loved him because everyone could bully him and he would just sit there and take it. And I really do think it stems from people, like, you know, bullying was totally unnormalized in schools, you know, people being douchebags, but, like, I still watch bullying happen all the time. I did. It was just that everyone accepted it socially because they were too scared to say. It's literally the same situation, and it just got taken a little too far in the Gamin4Hope one. He played into it a little too much. Everyone took advantage of him playing into it and not being very good at the game and beat him down instead of trying to rise him up. And that's where I need to talk about the community shift dynamic, and I think it all stems from showing the stats on the fucking scoreboard. Because listen here. If you are 11-4, okay? Not a good round, but you get rolled. And you desperate contest your point and die. Your mercy reses you die again, and then you switch to ball, and you go out to point, and then you die one more time before they cap. And someone looks at your stats and flames you for being 11-7. Find that person's house and punch him straight in the fucking face. The medal system was honorable because you could look at it, your stats, see how you were doing based on an anonymous pool of your team, and make an assumption on who is doing better and what and why. The scoreboard telling you this does the exact opposite of that. It makes you do none of that to where you take it out of context. For example, you can put out 7,000 healing output in a single team fight, and you can lose that team fight because you only output it to 2 tanks, and then you guys ended up getting rolled because it was a 6-on-3 and then another 6-on-3. And then at the end of the game, that person would have more healing stat, and all of it came from that one fight. The person could throw the rest of the game, and if someone wasn't watching close enough, they would be none the wiser, and they would call it out. I see this happen way too much in a lot of ranks. The stats do not mean anything. Gamin4Hope tried to explain this, and everyone just commented like the picture of him 2-5. You know what I mean? And everyone would just say, "Oh, you're just this, you're just that." But no, Elite Gold's Ty is here to say that the scoreboard does not fucking matter all the time. It doesn't even it doesn't even show objective time, objective kills. The last time I checked, the objective was more important than the elimination count. Because now you've got, like, scenarios where on Shambali Monastery, second point, your team doesn't know whether you want to ride objective and protect that, or if you want to go all the way to where the enemy team spawns at the end checkpoint of second time and take the team fight up there 5v6 and have one person just ride the cart the entire time, because you can just do that. The map kind of allows you to do that. And that's kind of a small, you know, mishap of a little map error that plagues the rest of Overwatch since 2022. And I think they're doing a good job with this quick play hack so far, but every time I start to say something good, I remember who's running the game, and that's not Blizzard anymore, it's Activision, fellas. Wake the fuck up, they're trying to rob us. So, hopefully they cook something up, but until then, fellas, subscribe. I'm not Hitler, but